This might be one of my favourite photos I've ever taken.
In today's video, I take the Leica Q3 43 on a Scottish road trip, tackling picturesque harbours, windswept lighthouses and castles and forests, taking images just like these.
Gorgeous view of the pier, sort of curving round. Just a bit of light hitting the first half of it. I think that looks really nice with the Leica chrome look on. Really kind of emphasises the oranges in this scene.
Same shot as a vertical.
I managed to get out of Edinburgh pretty easily. It's about a 40-minute drive to my first stop. This lovely little location called Dysart Harbor? Something like that. And as you can probably see, I've got beautiful light this morning. It's just after sunrise. It's cold as hell, but that's okay. I think it's a really nice opportunity to give the camera its first outing. The weather around here yesterday was awful. It's also supposed to be quite bad tomorrow, so I do think I've been extremely lucky in getting at least one day with some beautiful conditions like this. So I do really want to take advantage of it as much as possible. And then maybe tomorrow I'm going to have some moody weather. So I might get a nice mix in this little trip. And that's cool. Really like this view because I've got two of these sort of old-fashioned looking lights and the building that's just catching the morning sun beautifully. Something like this looks great.
This is nice, but I don't want to have my shadow in the shot. It'd be if I kneel down.
Beautiful, these three boats kneeling down, so I'm getting the kind of a leading line of the harbour wall. Gorgeous. Is there a cave? There's a cave. Well, obviously I'm going to go through here. just led me to the other side of the harbour wall, which is nice, but it's the harbour in particular that I am wanting to photograph. So let's go up here.
Love these two boats here. Makes a nice scene with the light hitting the castle and these buildings.
Focusing on the boats. I planned a route that basically goes north from Edinburgh that hugs the coastline. And really this harbour is the first actual stop that I'd planned. The rest of it I'm pretty much just driving and seeing what I can find. But it's really going to be one of those road trips where I'm just going to have the camera handy, and if I find a scene that I want to shoot, I'm going to be able to hopefully pull in and actually get out and take it. And to be honest, I think for me that is the beauty of having these kinds of compact cameras, is that you can just have them ready to shoot. I might not even put it back in the bag, I might just have it on the passenger seat in the car, just so that I can grab it and get the shot very quickly. I'm not having to take a whole kit bag out with changing lenses and filters and using tripods or anything, just very, very quick shooting. Let's carry on exploring this harbour and then maybe make a move further up the coast. What a beautiful morning! I mean, it's really cold. My hands are like iced. I didn't bring gloves. I never bring gloves, and I don't know why.
Just like these boys on here, like the shadow that they're casting. I'm getting fairly close. Love that we've just got this hard shadow from this old street light here. So obviously we've still got all the textures of the bricks and just the suggestion from that shadow.
These posts look great, and the viewfinder at least looks really great with the Leica chrome profile. Just find the right angle to give them a bit of separation. There we go. Yeah, I think it works super well here. I like it a lot.
This looks like a great scene. So we've got all these old-fashioned street lights here, and from this exact angle none of them are overlapping. We see them all very clearly. Obviously we've got this lovely old building on the left, and the sunlight in the morning is hitting it beautifully. So framing this shot up, f8, ISO 100,
even just with the view through the viewfinder. That's probably one of my favourite shots already. And it's another one that seems to look absolutely amazing with that Leica chrome profile. And if you don't like that look, then that is a shame, because I strongly suspect it's going to be on every photo that I take. Well, it might be. I'm certainly planning on experimenting with the different Leica looks while I'm out and about, but I am shooting in JPEG and RAW, so while the JPEG will save that profile as standard, the RAW version won't, so I can always do a different edit. So we'll see how it goes. This is so close to Edinburgh, but I've never been. I need to keep a fairly close eye on the time, because we are in mid-autumn at this point, so we don't get a lot of daylight hours in Scotland. It'll be basically dark by I guess 5:30-ish. And I know that one of my last locations I want to shoot today is Rattray Head lighthouse. I'm really hoping that if we have conditions like this in the evening, we should get some really gorgeous light, and it might be really great to shoot. But it's a good few hours drive from here, and there are other spots that I do want to photograph, so I want to make sure that I'm leaving enough time to be able to get there and have at least an hour of evening light on it. So I'm kind of working backwards from that. Okay, I think I've wandered along this bit of coast enough though, so I'm going to head back to the car, drive further up, and basically just keep my eye out. So early in the year I did a road trip video driving a Lotus to Barcelona and back, and for the most part that was completely unplanned. I mean, I knew I had to get to Barcelona, but otherwise I didn't know what route I was going to take, so it meant that like booking hotels I didn't do until the day I needed them, just because I didn't know what route I was going to go for. And I've done similar today. Well, not similar. I booked a hotel last night, so I know that I'm staying in Portsoy, and I know that I want to shoot Rattray Head in the evening. But other than that, I haven't really got any particular plans, and I really like that. It's very freeing, because it means you get to just explore. If you see a site you want to go and look at, you go and do it.
These houses. Actually using the crop mode to 75mm to focus in on the two windows and the bit behind it, which I think looks great.
Back in the car, I had a bit of a drive up the coast until a bit of an industrial area caught my eye, so I parked up and wandered in, snagging a couple of shots on the way.
I was looking at what Google Maps was showing me for my driving route. I noticed I was passing this sort of, I think, more industrial docks area. It looked potentially cool. Wasn't sure if I could walk in, but there does appear just to be a footpath from where I parked. So I'm going to have a little explore. You can see there's a load of old boats over here. I think I can get right up to them. Yes, I can. Might be some interesting shots. Maybe some details. Not quite sure what this dock area is, because there are similar ones in Edinburgh near where I live, but they're all very much security gated. You can't go in them, you've got to get permission. This one, I'm just parked up and wandered in. So, you know, go figure. If they're going to let me wander in, then I'm going to. So here I am. Really cool little collection of ruined old boats. There's more over that way, but they're all behind a fence. These are the only ones that are sort of left out here. So I've just been trying to work with the light, because it's coming in very strong from the left hand side, casting some great shadows. The background behind it with the security fence and stuff doesn't look great, so I have been just trying to be a bit selective over my angles. I do like this smaller red one here.
because we've got the sort of the grasses behind it, loads of these like old wooden beams of some kind to the left, and actually we've got in the background a wind turbine. So I kind of think this works well. It's getting a little bit lower, allowing the top of that boat to kind of go strongly over the harbour wall. Maybe a bit more like this. f7.1, ISO 100. I think that's pretty cool. I think this is as far as I can go. There is now a fence, and I'm a big believer in not hopping fences when you're not supposed to. So if I can't get a shot from here, well then that's fine. Is this a shot? It's a little bit far away. I do like this little boat down there, and I do like the kind of very old, a little bit higgledy-piggledy nature of this pier.
Then it was back in the car. Until I hit my next destination.
Well, I've arrived in Aberdeen. It is very windy. The sea is rough, but I'm hoping that I might be able to get some interesting shots here. So I've specifically come to the waterfront area because there is a sort of theme parky sort of place a little further up, but I just love seaside views. I shoot a lot in Portobello in Edinburgh, and I've got a lot of nostalgia for classic British seaside frontages. I spent a lot of my childhood going on holiday to Scarborough and Whitby and places like that, so I really do like the old seafront, and I don't think this is that. It's not one of those sort of classic Victorian waterfronts, but it might have some charm, so I'm keen to explore. God, my hands are cold. Gloves. This pavilion side with just the hint of a thing behind.
seeing the beach ballroom up there. Looks very Art Deco, nice front. Like that sort of pyramidal top to it. Could make for a nice shot. So I'm going to go check it out. I mean, I like all of this. This looks great. Green grasses. The vibrant red of that life preserver is just there. Go slightly crop mode on this. I'm going to walk onto the roundabout, shoot it from there first. Not really sure if I'm supposed to be. Yeah, this is fine. Because I want to get completely square onto it, and I can't quite from here. So I'm going to have to cross the road when it's safe, so I can stand about there. Okay. I like this more as a closed fish and chip van. We've got the street lights curling away into the distance, and then on the left we've got the buildings. So I actually quite like that. It shows various different elements in this area, which is kind of cool. Bench, 2 cones and some flowers. I like these. It's got that bit of reflection of one of the things. There's some people coming. I want to try and get the people in between those pillars as well. It'd be quite nice. Where am I? Not quite sure actually where I am. I mean, this nice central post caught my eye before. Definitely a shot to be had. I like it around here. I've never been to Aberdeen before. Don't know where I am. I've wandered down from where I've parked, basically exploring a slightly different side of the coast, found these amazing houses, which definitely require a bit more exploration. Came back down this way because it's where it gets a lot more industrial, and I really hope to find some more industry shots. Because I drove through this area before parking up, so I know that there are some views of like massive tanker ships and things like that that I might try and work into a shot, but it just depends on how far back I've got to walk. As time is against me now, it's 1:20.
I've got an hour and a half drive at least to get to Rattray Head. That's if I don't stop. And that's not going to leave me loads of time on location there to get the shots I want. But it is cool around here. I think it may just be that I have to come back to Aberdeen on another day because there's a lot more exploring that I want to do. Cool lighthouse. I think this profile works so well on sunny days like today because it turns the sky a really nice sort of tealy blue, makes the oranges pop. It looks awesome. I did have another little explore around that industrial bit, but it's such a huge area and I just think I can't do it justice right now, not when I'm on a tight time schedule. So I think what I'm going to have to do is just pocket this area, keep it in mind, come back on another day, maybe come back with some photographer friends. I think it'd be quite nice to basically do the same drive, park up there, and then do a bit of a photo walk with some people. But for now, I'm getting out of the city, and I've just put in on Google Maps to go straight to Rattray Head. It's not that I'm in a rush necessarily, I just need to use my time well. Also right now it's getting really cloudy and raining a bit in Aberdeen, so kind of felt like I've had the best of the weather, that lovely blue sky when I was walking along the beachfront. Now it's time to turn my back on it, head somewhere else.
I had real mixed weather on the journey, which wasn't great to drive in, but it left me feeling pretty hopeful that there would be some interesting conditions for my evening's photos.
There it is, Rattray Head Lighthouse. I have shot here before and I've got some okay shots. I've never got amazing photos though, and I don't really think I'm going to get that today. Right now, as you might be able to see, where is it? Sort of there. The lighthouse is in shadow, it's not getting any light at all, but it only takes a few seconds, I suppose, for the clouds to shift and for a nice beam of light to come through. So I'm going to explore the area, start to get some ideas in mind, see how this camera works focal length wise with the lighthouse, and we'll go from there. Using these grasses on these dunes, there's some foreground interest, or I'm trying to anyway. Focusing on the lighthouse. I love the waves that are coming in, really strong waves, adding some great detail in the water. What we have got here is a gap in those grasses which perfectly frames the lighthouse. Couldn't be better. So what I'm going to do, sort of get in a power stance, get a little bit low. Just need some light on the, oh, there's a rainbow, there's a rainbow, there's a fucking rainbow. Look at the rainbow, oh my God. Absolutely here for a rainbow on the lighthouse all day, every day. Oh yes, lucky me.
Thank you, this weather. What I've actually done is kind of step back a little bit from these reeds. I'm just using the crop mode, and that's cropping into about 60 mil. It's just basically giving a similar composition as before, kind of filling the frame with those reeds, but just allowing the lighthouse to appear a little bit bigger in frame, as well as actually kind of let me just frame that composition a little bit more neatly. And because I'm shooting at max resolution, it's cropping into a 60 megapixel image, so I'm really not worried about losing any kind of detail here. And yeah, the light's coming out again. I need to wait for the light to hit the lighthouse so that I can kind of get this darker vignette of the reeds with the lighthouse being kind of lit up in the center of the frame. I'm pretty confident it's going to happen. That said, over here, nasty looking storm clouds, and they are blowing this way, so there's every chance I'm not going to have all that long here. I mean, that's not true. I'm staying here until I'm done. I just may need to go back and shelter in my car for a little bit, or go and get a different coat. Closer to the water now, because I absolutely love the scene. Storm clouds, rough seas, lighthouse right in the middle. It's going to be a little bit underexposed. I'm already imagining this as a very wide panoramic crop. Absolutely opened up on me, but what they've left behind is this incredible rainbow. And I'm really trying to do it justice, because the light is falling so beautifully on the lighthouse. I'm shooting quite wide, hoping just to kind of give me some options to maybe recrop later if I want to. The rainbow's fading. I've also tried to play with the negative space by putting the lighthouse in the quite extreme left of the frame, allowing more of the rainbow to fill the rest of the scene. I think that could be cool. It's gone now though, but it'll probably come back. But yeah, blue sky here, stormy sky there. Classic Scotland, to be honest. Overcast again now. The light's gone from the lighthouse. I've probably taken 200 photos, maybe more. So I'm just hanging around, having a Tunnocks caramel log, which is lovely, and deciding what to do. Do I hang around and see if the light gets better, if we get a sunset? I definitely think there's promise, but I may have already had it as good as it gets. And I've got about an hour and a half drive to my accommodation tonight from here, but I want to get there around 7 so I can get some food. Very nice. Oh my god, these conditions are just getting amazing right now. We've got light on the grasses in the foreground, amazing light hitting the lighthouse, and just billowing black clouds behind it. Now it really is looking on my camera like those clouds just fall to blackness with beautiful orange tones elsewhere, which I'm absolutely loving. This just looks amazing. My shadow is slightly in shot here, which is a little frustrating. God, these clouds, they just look amazing. Even this JPEG, just looking at it now, straight out of camera, looks incredible. Oh my god, this might be one of my favorite photos I've ever taken. That can't be right though, can it? I mean, I haven't seen these photos, but it feels like that was something special.
My route the next day was to travel back south. With few destinations in mind, I did my best to simply keep my eye out for photo stops I could make, like this one. This farm equipment looked great in the soft morning light, and I loved this car semi-submerged in the undergrowth. Stopping on the rest of the journey was tough, but it was such a beautiful area to drive through that I was just as happy simply putting some music on and enjoying the views. As I climbed higher over the hills, I made a quick pull in to take this farmhouse image, which I think was worth stopping for.
To Braemar Castle, because I'm pretty sure doing a Scottish road trip without visiting a castle is illegal. This one is particularly good. Classic turrets, Scottish flag, flanked by beautiful hillsides. I've just had a moment of really nice light falling on it. I've snapped a couple of shots, but I've tried to just back away a little bit to get a little bit more of the landscape in frame, but unfortunately, as I have done, the sun has been blocked out. It is a bit grey today. So I might just hang around for a few moments and see if this light returns and I can get the shot that I want, because it does look pretty good here, except that I can now get the back end of this car in a car park, which doesn't look great, but I could maybe sort of frame it. Oh, actually, I do quite like that framing. All right, I'm going to take this shot because it's also starting to rain. To be honest, driving along so many of these roads has been agony. Not physically, but there's been so many viewpoints that I've seen, so many just like bits of tree where the light's hitting it and I just want to jump out of the car and take the shots. But most of the roads I've been on have been very, very narrow, single track, nowhere to stop and pull in. So by the time I've seen a shot, I've then got to drive, at least a mile or so up the road before there's anywhere where I could stop, and I just don't have time to park up and walk back. So I really feel like I've missed potentially hundreds of shots. But I have to just be okay with that, as we all do, because we can't always get every shot that we see. What about this castle through the trees? Nah. I can see that there is a little footpath that just leads into these woods, and I'm just going to poke my nose in ever so slightly and see if there's a shot, maybe a woodland shot that might be quite nice. While I'm here, may as well explore.
I had a brief wander into the woods, and while I enjoyed the break from driving and I did snag a couple of shots, they're not ones likely to end up in my portfolio.
Well, I've wandered far enough in this forest. I could really do with getting back to the car and getting back on the road. I've no idea where this trail leads, and apart from a few little woodland shots which are okay, I'm not really seeing much point in continuing. So I'm making the smart decision to carry on with my journey. I have now just put my destination as just Edinburgh, so there are no more specific stopping points that I've got in mind on this journey. So it really is more than ever just going to be, what can I see from the car when I'm on my way? And it may be, I'm hoping, that I spy some either good viewpoints for interesting landscapes. Maybe I find more things like other castles or, I don't know, other kind of interesting structures. But it really is just going to be based on what I can kind of spot from the road. And I would advise for anyone doing photography road trips like this that is not an easy way to work. Because while it is quite freeing, because it means you can take whatever road you want, you can go wherever you want as long as time allows, of course, it really does mean that you could be missing out on some incredible photo opportunities, some amazing views. But if you don't know what's there, if you haven't done your research, then you'll never see them. So it's worth having a few more points on your map.
I did end up stopping on my route back. First at this ski centre where I loved the vibrant orange tones created by the Leica chrome profile. Then later on, I pulled in to get some shots in this stunning glen, framing these trees against the bright sky. Capturing the S-curve of this road, and even getting a shot of a lorry speeding past. But that brings me to an end of this week's video. I really loved doing this trip and getting to know the camera in the time Leica had loaned it to me, and I'm really pleased with many of the images I've taken. The ones I'm showing here again are some of my favourites, but as always I'd really love to know which one stood out most to you, so please dive into the comments and let me know. I'd also love to know what you think of this slightly more vloggy style road trip video. Was it easy to watch? Did you find it interesting to follow my journey as I take the photos? It was a fun one to shoot, and if it works well, I'd like to try doing more in this style in the new year. But thank you so much for watching, have a great festive break, and I'll see you next time.